Hi, in this lecture, we are going to learn how to run a background task with WebJob in Azure App Service. WebJob is a feature of Azure App Service that enable you to run a program or script in the same instance as a web app. So there is no additional cost to use this WebJob. So WebJob support different kind of programming or script like command, BAT or exe using the Windows command, or you can use the PowerShell script. It even supports PHP, Python, Node.js, and a jar file. So we are going to learn how to deploy a web job by using the Azure portal. And we'll be seeing how to develop and deploy a console app into a web job. And we'll be seeing a developing and deploying a web job using the Visual Studio. Let's go into the Azure portal. So in the Azure portal, we have an existing app service plan. So select the app service plan. So in the existing app service plan, we are going to create the web job. In the left side panel, if you scroll down, you can see the option called web job. So let's search the web job on in the search bar. Yep. So in the settings, you can see the option called web job. There are multiple ways that you can able to add this web job. So you can add the web job from the portal. If you click on the add button here, so you can enter the name of the web job and you can upload the file of the web job. So basically you can go and upload a CMD file or a BAT file or an exe file, and then you can select the web job type. So it can be a continuous or a triggered one. So if you are going with a continuous one, this web job is going to be continuously running in the background, and you can select the scalability that you want to run this web job in a single instance or a multiple instance. So in your app service plan, you can able to scale run the app service into the multiple instance. So if you select a single instance irrespective of your app service instance, this web job is going to run in a single instance. Or you can go and select that triggered. So in the trigger, you can able to select the trigger type as schedule, or you can go and select it as a manual one. So in a schedule, you can run this web job as part of a cron expression. So I want to show you the other option. So that will be most probably the developers will be doing. So either you can develop an console app in your Visual Studio and get the exe and upload it here, or if you want to create a web job in your console and you can publish from your Visual Studio, or you can automate using your Azure DevOps CI/CD pipeline. So we'll see how to create a console app and from the Visual Studio 2022. Hi, we are here in the Visual Studio 2022. So if you're new to Visual Studio and don't know how to install and configure a Visual Studio 2022, we have a tutorial for this. You can go and watch it from the above link. So now let's go and create a new project. So I'm clicking on the new project. Okay, so in the new project, I'm going to create a console app. So I want to create a console app, a C# console app with the .NET framework. If you're not seeing this console app, you can go and search from here. So if you see this console app with the .NET framework with C# as the programming language, I'm going to select and click on next. And let's name this console app as console app web job. And create. So Visual Studio is creating the project. So, all right. So our console app is being created successfully. So now let's go and in the console dot write line, I'm just going to print. I'm going to print. So let's print it as this is an console app web job. Okay. So this is just a sample console app. You can write any kind of logic like automating any kind of cron job or any kind of background task, you can able to program it and get the exe and put it into the web jobs. So now we are going to see how we can able to publish this console app into your web job. For that, right click on the solution. And if you see here, you can see an option here, publish as an Azure web job. So normally you have see a publish, and in next to that, you can see that publish as a web job. Now click on the publish as web job. So, and the web job name, I'm good with the console web app. And do you want to run constantly or run on demand? So I want to run continuously. Select that option and click on OK. So what it is doing, it is installing the web job publishing NuGet package. And then it asks to sign in to your Azure cloud. So let me select the Azure. You can two options. You can import the publish setting to a deployment, or you can directly publish into the Azure. Now select the Azure and click on next. So here you have an option to sign in to your Azure portal. Let's go and sign in. So enter your Microsoft ID and click on next. So all right, so we have successfully signed into our Microsoft account. And if you have multiple subscriptions, select the correct subscription which you want to create the web job. So in my case, I'm going to create the free trial account. And if you don't have an existing instance, create a new instance. So I'm going to name this web job as console app web job tech feed, and the resource group network. So let me select the resource group as RG web app, that is in the East US, and I am fine with the hosting plan. So let's see the hosting plan. I can use the existing service plan, the tech feed app service. And let's go and create the app service. So it's take a while. So it's going to create an app service plan and an app service into your Azure portal. All right, so our console app web job tech feed has been created. So now select that web app and finish the web job. And finally, you need to publish this into the web job. Okay, so all right, so our newly created console app is being published to the Azure cloud. Let's go into the site and verify the web job has been successfully published or not. So I am here in the Azure portal. Let's go and check the newly created app from the Visual Studio. And if you see this console app web job is been newly created, let's go into the console app web job tech feed. And in the left side panel, we can see the option called web job. If I go into this web job, I can see this web job. The console app web job is being deployed, and you can see that it's been running in constantly. And if you select this web job, and if you go to the logs, we can see the logs of the web job. So let's go and start this web job. Select the web job, and I'm going to start this web job. So now the web job is started. And if I go to the logs and click on the console app web job, I can able to see the logs. If you see the status of the web job is being succeeded, and if you see the console app web job, what we write into our console. So now let's go into the Visual Studio and now create a new web job using a web job SDK. So for that, I'm just again going to our Visual Studio and create a new project. So in this time, I'm going to search for the option called WebJob. And you can see the option called Azure WebJob.NET Framework with C# language and both Visual Basic. I'm going to select the C# as the programming language and click on Next. And let's name it as, for the demo, let's name it as WebJob Tech Feed and click on Create. Okay, so our newly created web job has been created now. So here we have a program.cs file, and it come with all the dependencies and packages for deploying this as part of the web job. If you see here, you can see the Microsoft Azure.webjob SDK. The NuGet package has been installed along with the application, and you can see the configuration and the host.run block. And let's go and write console dot write line, and I just want to print this is a web job. Okay, so now let's go and publish this web job into the Azure. So for that, right click on the uh, solution file, and you can click the option called publish. So and select Azure and click on next. And I want to publish this into the Azure web job and click on next. And I can see there is an existing app is been there. So I want to publish this web job into the console app web job tech feed, select the app and click on finish. So it is creating the publishing profile. The publishing profile is being created successfully. Close this window and you can see the option to publish. So let's click on publish. And if you see that once you publish this web job, you can see in a settings.job, and in the settings.job, you can see all the options like if you want to schedule this job. So if you want to schedule this job like a cron job, then you can go and enable this option here. So if you want to run this particular web job at 9:30 a.m. every day, so just go and uncomment this. So it will go and schedule this web job. So now let's go to the Azure portal and verify our newly created web job is been successfully deployed or not. So I just go to our portal and go to the app service and select the console app web job tech feed and search for web job. And if I go and refresh, I can see the newly created web job is being deployed. If you see the web job tech feed, that's what we give the name. And this time we are creating the web job as a triggered. And if you see that the schedule is been set as NA, now let's go and enable that schedule. If I go to the Visual Studio, so I make this change. Let's save and publish this web job again. So right click the solution and click on the publish option here and publish it again. So all right, so our changes are being published. Now let's go to the portal and refresh it again. And now you can able to see the option, the schedule is being enabled. It's nothing but it's go the web job is going to run on 9 a.m. on every day. So that's all about this tutorial. Hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching.